I was in the pilot's lounge the other day when barkeep says, "What do you do then?" And I said, "Operability." He said, "That doesn't help me at all. What's operability?" Well, this video is for him. I'm going to tell you what operability engineering is. Quite straightforward really, but let's go through it one step at a time. But before I get into that, did you know you can come along to a free Q&A every Wednesday? I'm sorry, you've missed the last one of the year, but 2025 there's one every Wednesday at lunchtime where you can come along, ask any tech questions you like at techanswers.club. I'll see you on the next one. So, operability, it is three things. Or is it? Is it DevOps? Well, DevOps is the primary thing of breaking down silos, communication, collaborative, that's a good word, continuous integration and deployment, but I prefer collaborative. No, I know what I'm talking about. Collaborative workflow magic. And it's about getting code to where it needs to be deployed and working as quickly as possible. Build and deploy, blah, blah, blah. Easy peasy, right? Its main purpose is to smallen the gap between developers and operations. And the smaller we can get that, then the less handover, the smoother the deployments. Heck, you can start deploying stuff once every hour or even quicker if your coders are fast enough. Is it SRE, which is Site Reliability Engineering? This is a thing that Google have championed for ages. And I guess it could be. The main thing about SRE is having the service running to an acceptable level. This means you end up with two things. You end up with a service level objective. This is how much of the time it goes right. And you end up with error budgets, which is how many times it goes wrong. Now, error budgets are every time something goes wrong and your users go, "Oh man, that's rubbish." But they'll only have a certain amount of tolerance for that before they say, "Nah, I'll give up, can't be asked for this anymore, I'm just going to use somebody else's product." So you develop a service level objective that's high enough to make sure that your users don't leave, but low enough so that your devs have got a chance to fix all the bugs. And then there's proactive and reactive monitoring. Proactive monitoring is where we're actively thinking about what can go wrong and fixing it before it does. And reactive monitoring is having those lovely dashboards so that when something does go wrong and increases our error budget, we can actually fix it, identify it, and do something about it. So if it's not exactly DevOps and it's not exactly SRE, perhaps it's CloudOps. Maybe. Now, CloudOps is all about cloud architecture and design. Now, when I say cloud, this might be a public cloud like Azure or Google or AWS. It could also apply to an internal cloud. Now, for many years, I was on site with a data center, racking servers and all that sort of stuff. And we used virtual servers in order to provide a faster response to our customers, who are also IT, but they wanted servers quickly, right? Spin up a VM, here's a template, off you go. Build a server in less than, well, I don't know, in those days, probably half an hour or something. 5 minutes would be acceptable these days. So CloudOps, they're all about architecting the design, optimizing the costs, keeping those costs down. So if you're running a server 24/7, don't pay for cloud prices for it. You're wasting your money. You might as well have it in a data center. And security and compliance, making sure that there's no holes in the system, that the people who need access to the system have got access and those that don't, do not, and complying with any other rules and regulations that you want to in order to make sure that the data is safe. We need to keep the data safe. The operability engineering, it's all of those. It's about reliability, it's about being maintainable, and that part of the design. It's about being scalable, again, cloud design, and being able to deploy stuff fast. And it's about being observable, knowing when things go wrong and know how often things go right. And so I've got a lovely handy little table that breaks these down. DevOps is about reducing that friction between development and operations. Site reliability engineering, if I can say it right, is system availability and performance, knowing when it's working well, when it's not working well, and making it work better. And CloudOps is about optimizing cloud resources and infrastructure so that we're providing a decent service without paying lots of money, and we can reduce the bill where we need to. And so we're talking about automation, prioritizing, and reducing manual intervention. Developers don't like servers, so give them a button to develop the code, and that's too easy. We've done that. That's another video. Give the developers a button so they can deploy the code. Now we got it. DevOps. Continuous improvement. Iterating on what we've got. As an SRE, you're reducing those errors. As a CloudOps engineer, you're reducing the costs. And as a DevOps engineer, you're making things go faster and reducing the development time, or just the developers sitting around playing whatever they play whilst they're waiting for their builds to run. Observability, creating transparent and monitorable systems so that we can see how fast the builds are performing. We can see how long a deployment takes. We can see when the errors are creeping up and we're eating into our error budget. And we can see how much our bills are. And infrastructure as code. We want to treat infrastructure with the same rigor as software development. It's version controlled. We know exactly where it is. We can deploy it quickly. And all of those things come into DevOps and SRE and CloudOps. The DevOps ensures a smooth development and deployment of code. And all those other things I just said. SRE maintains all the nines uptime, make sure everything's available and that the users don't experience any errors. CloudOps optimizes the cloud spend and infrastructure. What's the minimal amount of infrastructure we need to provide that 999 uptime? So over to you. In the comments below, describe your understanding of operability in one tweet size explanation. Can you do it? Operability isn't about choosing one approach. It's about understanding how these disciplines complement each other and to create a robust, efficient tech system. So I'm operability. All of the above. Or yes, as I said to the guy. And so I'm going to leave you with a joke. Why is a DevOps always prepared? Because there's always something in the pipeline. So if you thought that was crap, let me know. Come over to techanswers.club. You can join me on a live Wednesday session, and maybe you can tell me your favourite joke instead. And I'll see you on the next one.